Hello, welcome to StephenSpeak, the podcast. On today's episode, I talk about my birthday, which is today, and turning 40. Let's talk about that. Welcome to StephenSpeak, the podcast. Unscripted prattle on everything and nothing. Hello, welcome to this episode of StephenSpeak. I think it's episode 12, I'm not even sure. I think I might even just stop mentioning what episode it is in future because I've started to record sometimes in a random order, or I decide to switch out, or, you know, if a guest appearance might suddenly come up. I might just stop mentioning what episode it is. Anyway, that's me thinking out loud. It's my birthday today. That's the wrong sound effect, but you know, who cares? I couldn't find the right one. I didn't set it up, so we'll play some creepy music instead because I am 40. Yeah. So, and I don't feel any different because you don't, do you? It's just another year, really. And if you're lucky, then it's just another year older. That's all it is, isn't it? And it's a thing in the UK. I don't know if it's a thing around the world. That people seem to be insistent on asking you if you feel any different because it's your birthday or because you're a year older. But I was the same yesterday. It's just one day that's made me a year older, technically, because it was nearly a year older yesterday, or a month ago I was nearly a year older. So it's always kind of annoyed me a little bit that, if I'm honest, a lot of things annoy me recently. Maybe it is my age. But especially in the UK, we have like some special celebratory birthdays that we kind of think of some sort of landmark. So like 13 is like a thing, like becoming like a teenager, 18 kind of becoming an adult. I know Sweet 16's kind of becoming a thing, I think, in this country as well, with like the kind of American influence. But yeah, we celebrate like 30 sometimes as well. 21's also kind of a celebratory thing. And then 40 seems to be a big one for people. And then 50. And then retirement, which isn't a birthday, I know. But, you know, that's like the next thing. And then like getting to like 70, 80. And then 100 is like, you get a letter from the, well, it used to be the Queen, but you get a letter from the King if you turn 100 in this country. For reaching that milestone of the verge of death. So, yeah, I just think it's like a strange thing that we do in this country. It's like kind of like, it's weird. I think that we celebrate certain birthdays anyway. It's weird. I think I'm going to be really grumpy and say I think it's weird that we celebrate birthdays. To be honest, to celebrate the day you were born because you have literally no control over that, and it's a celebratory thing. It's just bizarre for me that we just celebrate birthdays. But I'm not going to be too grumpy. So, hooray, we celebrate birthdays. But it's weird that we celebrate certain ones. I'm not going to lie. I don't know why I think it's odd. I just think that to make I must admit, I did have like an 18th birthday party and a 21st. Because we had an 18th one and I wanted a 21st one. It's just an excuse to get pissed, to be honest. That's all it was for me. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, I just think it's odd that we put so much onus on certain birthdays. So if it's a celebratory thing, why not just celebrate them all the same? But anyway, I'm 40 today, 40. That's mad. I honestly, I think I mentioned one of the previous episodes. I didn't actually think I'd live to see 30. Like genuinely, like I always thought that in my head that was like so far away, and seemed an odd age to get to, and I genuinely, and I don't know why, I just genuinely didn't think that I would survive past 30. I always thought that something would happen to me, or I don't know, like go down in a blaze of glory on my motorbike or something. Like, and I hope that doesn't happen. Touch wood. But I think that was always in the back of my mind that like getting past like 30 or even 40 would not happen. I don't know why that is. Maybe there's a psychologist out there that thinks, "Geez, you need help." That's always been a thing for me. I don't really think like that. I don't think like that way anymore. But when I was younger, in like teens and into my 20s, like, that's what I thought. But it didn't really spur me on to do anything amazing with my life, has it? Like, it's not really. It didn't really give me the onus to go out and really, really conquer the world, which is kind of depressing. So maybe it wasn't that much of a worry in the first place, or enough of a worry for me. Because I am quite dismissive of some things. The way my brain works, I'm very much like, oh my god, that's terrible. But then I'll go, there's nothing you can do about it. Crack on. So I kind of like immediately like kind of like comfort myself. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, so I'm 40 today. In 1983, I was born. And you know what? It doesn't seem that long ago that I was at school and college and stuff like that. And that was all like 20 odd years ago. Like, I left school 23 years ago, which is bonkers. Like, there's people that are 23 now that were born the year I left school, which I can't comprehend. I can't comprehend it. Like, time is a weird concept for the brain. I still don't think the year from 2010 to 2020 existed. Still, really, if someone says 10 years ago, I immediately go back to, like, if someone said 10 years ago, I'd immediately think 2003. I forget there was a 2013. And that's kind of been in my my brain for a while. But I can't shake it, which is annoying as well. But yeah, I don't feel any different. Going back to that point, like, I'm 40, I don't feel any different. There are some changes I think I want to make now I am 40. I have put a bit of weight on. I think I need to really, I think from this point in my life, it's probably going to be really impactful if I don't look after myself a bit better. So that's something I'm going to really, really kind of focus on, I think, and trying to get back into shape and get back to like marriage weight, I think, because that was, I felt comfortable. It took a bit of effort, but I'm chubby now. Let's say fat, borderlining. No, let's just say I'm fat now. So I need to get back to some sort of weight because it's gonna. Yeah, I'm 40 and I'm not young anymore. And I do feel things. I do wake up in the morning and feel a bit achy, and I do seem to get tired a bit quicker. Probably something to do with the fact that I don't exercise as much as I should. My job is quite sedate, and I need to do something about that. And I'm literally potentially halfway through my life. Like, the life expectancy in Britain, I think, is 80 years old for a male. About that. So technically, I'm at the halfway point. Like, I've got another 40 years to go potentially. At the most. Well, at the average. Which doesn't bother me. Like, halfway point, where have I come? I've had a good life so far. This is not like I feel like I'm doing my own obituary. But I've worked hard for what I have in my life, and I'm married to a wonderful woman. And I think the only thing at the moment which would really, make me happy is a kid. And I've spoken about this in the podcast before, that we're going through IVF, and it's just been such a long process. And unfortunately, the health system in Britain at the moment is shit. And we've just been waiting for so long with no view to getting any further with this process. So I think that's the only thing at the moment that I think would complete me. I'm quite happy with my job. Don't get me wrong, I'd like £1 million, but to do what I wanted and maybe do this stuff full time. But I'm quite happy with my job. Like, I'm comfortable, well paid. Got a beautiful wife. I have a roof over my head, which the mortgage is slowly coming down. So it's just gonna be a kid now. So hopefully that can be sorted in the next couple of years. And it's just like, I think now is the time to focus a bit more. Maybe I'm a bit wiser. Maybe I can focus and knuckle down. And now I've got this infrastructure around me that I've built up over the last 20 years of working. I can focus on other stuff. As you know, I've spoken about, like, I'm writing some books, and I don't know how they'll turn out, whether they're gonna be any good or not. But I've been trying to do some writing, doing my podcast. I actually recently joined a band, so midlife crisis. So just off the back of what I was doing at the Heritage Centre a few months ago, doing the sound recording and stuff. One of the chaps in there said he used to be in a band and he was looking at doing it again. And I basically said, "Oh, that's cool. I've always wanted to join a band." And he basically invited me along, and we had a bit of a little small practice the other week, and it seemed to go really well, to be honest. And I'm the singer / keyboard player. My keyboard skills, my piano skills have faded so much, and I need to really practice. Ready for the next practice. But yeah, it went really good. It was just really good to jam with some musicians and just to have let my hair down a bit, and it felt good. So I kind of achieved that before 40. Not that it was on like a bucket list before 40, but I achieved that before 40. So I feel like that's something I achieved. Age is like age is just a number, and I feel like if you keep your brain sharp and keep yourself in some reasonable fitness, which is the thing I've got to work on, I think that it doesn't really matter how old you are. You're into what you're into, and you can just be you. And that's what I've always been about, is just being me and just plodding on. Again, I don't feel 40. It seems weird to say that I am 40 because it doesn't feel like it. I feel the same as I was when I was 30. I don't think I can go below that age. I feel like 30 I felt like good at 30. And I just feel the same. I don't know. It's weird. Put this label, how do you feel at 40? The friggin' same, to be honest. But yeah, so I've had some lovely presents, so just go through what I've had, because I don't ask for any presents, and it's just really nice, and I've always been the same with presents. Like, I never expect anything on my birthday. Maybe when I was a child I did, because it's built up as a thing, but as soon as I became an adult, I never expect anything. And I always feel a bit awkward when people buy me presents, because I do feel obliged to buy them back and try and equalize it out. But I kind of, when I bought my own house, I kind of had to reel that in, because I was living alone and managing my own house. So I literally just said to my mates, "Listen, if you want to buy me something, great. I'll buy you something if I can." And we some of my mates had an agreement. A couple of mates, we still bought each other stuff. But a couple of mates, we just stopped buying. And I said that to me. I've been saying that to my family for years. Like, don't buy me anything. I'd prefer to see people. To be honest, I'd prefer to go for a brew, maybe go for a beer, socialize. Basically, I like to see people. So, I would have been more of the fact that it'd be nice to see you rather than get a present from you. So, yeah, that's kind of how my present thing works. But I've still been very lucky, and a few of my friends have still bought me presents, which is lovely. So I bought myself a couple of things as well, to be honest. Yeah, so I have had a cup off my mum. The theme is cups this year, I think. And annoyingly, I bought myself a cup on the internet as well. So, yes, I'm going to have to make some room in the cupboard, because we have a lot of cups already. So I got a Lego plastic, it's a Lego, it's a block kind of mug aimed at Lego, but it's not officially Lego. Just got to get that in there. I'm a purist. But no less appreciative. I've seen them for a while, and I thought that'd be quite fun to have. But it's a cup, and you can stick Lego to it, basically. So my mum bought me that, and she bought me some raspberry Ruffle bars, because I love them. Always have since I was a kid. And she bought me a little magnet, a Father Ted magnet. I think she got me mixed with my brother, because he's more into Father Ted than I am. I've literally seen bits of episodes. I think I've ever seen one episode all the way through, which is kind of blasphemy for someone that lives in the UK, because it was one of the biggest things for a while over here. What else did she get me? And some spoons, like teaspoons shaped like guitars. 6 of them, I think it was, all different colours. So I'm going to take a couple to work as my spoons for work, along with my mug. My brother brought me some cool gifts. He went to Movie Land, I think it's called, in Germany. And specifically, I never knew that there was a Movie Land. I never knew there was a theme park based on films. And he went there with his partner's, for his partner's little girl's birthday. And he sent me a picture saying there's a whole Starfleet Academy section, and it's a Star Trek The Next Generation ride. And I was like, what the hell? Why don't I know about this? I told my mate Scott, who's featured in the Star Trek episodes that we did, I think in season 1. or season two. And yeah, he was very jealous as well. But my brother like just really generously brought me like a load of gifts back. So he brought me a T-shirt back with Dr. McCoy on, and it basically says, "I'm a Dr. Jim, not a bricklayer," which is one of my favorite episodes and one of my favorite lines from the show. Brought me a Klingon mug, which is cool. It's like silvery. It's got like a weird glaze to it. It's cool. There is some writing on it as well, which I need to work out what it says in Klingon. So I'm hoping there's like some sort of Klingon translator I can use somewhere. I'm sure there is. And people have transferred like ancient text into Klingon, so I'm presuming it is like Shakespeare and the Bible, etc. What else did he get me? Oh, some keyrings. So he's like original series keyrings. Khan. I think was it Khan? Kirk and Spock. What else? There was something else. Oh, they sell money in Movieland, and it's a next generation. Basically, Captain Picard, his face on like a fake euro note, basically, which is pretty cool. And he put it in like this acrylic little block to like preserve it. Yeah, so really cool gifts. Like really cool. I love it. Anything Star Trek's great, but it's like some of the stuff you can only get from there. And really annoyingly, he bought himself one of them T-shirts and had his bloody suitcase stolen, so he's lost his. So I feel a bit bad really for him. Yeah, and my friends Stuart and Martha and their daughter that bought me. Well, the adults probably bought it, to be honest, not the daughter, but a bottle of tequila. Martha's from Mexico, so it's like the proper stuff. So I'm looking forward to tasting that. And I got some Lego off my mother-in-law a while ago, so I got that present early. That was the Groot. I don't know if you saw on my social media. I put a Groot up, and that's what she got me. But she also got me like a little motorbike as well, which I've not made yet. So I got them early. I haven't had the present off my mate yet, Scott. He's normally I'm going to see him later on, so I'll probably pick him up then. He's like one of the greatest gift givers ever. He gets like on the nose every time, and yeah, he's just so generous. So looking forward to seeing what presents he has in store. Again, me and Scott are probably the only people we have constantly bought Scott something. He's constantly bought me something. I think it's because we know each other so well. To be honest, we always get each other stuff that we like, but haven't really maybe thought about buying ourselves, or maybe haven't seen. So we've done pretty well up to now. I don't think we've ever bought each other anything that the other person's already got, which is quite spectacular, really. It's kind of a feat. What else did I get? Having a bit of a mental shutdown. Oh yes, my friend Louise saw one of my longest friends went out with her husband last night, and they were talking about her turning 40 next year. Then she turned to me and said, "Oh, you're on you 40 soon." And I was like, "Actually, tomorrow, Louise." And she was like, "Oh God," she was devastated that she'd forgotten. And her little lad Jack, one of her lads, the youngest lad, basically apparently afterwards said, "Oh, it's terrible you've not bought Stephen something. So he wanted to go out today and buy me something." So me and Sarah went to one of the local supermarkets that has a cafe for breakfast. So they met us in there, and Louise had bought me some Grinch slippers, which is good because they replaced the ones that I was not willing to throw out yet until I got a replacement. So that's good. And Jack bought me a Grinch mug with some green candy canes, which ironically, or coincidentally, more is the preferred word. Coincidentally, I was looking at the other day in the shop and thinking, should I buy myself a Grinch mug? Do I need a Grinch mug? So, thank you, Jack. You solved that dilemma for me. Yes, apparently I do need a Grinch mug. But I also bought myself a mug the other day on the internet, so I bought myself some coffee. And I bought a mug with it. I was like, oh, them mugs are nice. So, yeah, there's a lot of new mugs. But they're all cool, so I'm not arsed. They're all really cool mugs, so who cares? Who cares? But yeah, it's been a nice day so far. Again, it's like a normal day. Like when you're a kid, you get super excited about your birthdays, but they just fade. It's not like Christmas. Like I still love Christmas, but it just becomes a general other day, especially like if you're working as well. Like I've spent so many of my birthdays at work on shifts, on nights and stuff, and not been able to celebrate them. So maybe that's what I should do. Make the most of my birthdays now. Use it as maybe use it as an excuse to enjoy myself and be waited on, etc., etc. And yeah, so I'm just going to record this podcast and upload it and stuff today. I'm going to have a chill for a few hours, maybe watch something on telly and just chill and have a brew and probably utilise my new cups. And later on, I'm going out for a meal. My mother-in-law has very, very nicely offered to take us for a meal, including my mate Scott. So me, Sarah, her brother, Scott, and her mum are all going to go out for a lovely meal later. So that should be something to look forward to. And then post-meal is when I'm going to go to my diet. Because I always said I was going to have a six-pack when I was 40. I wanted a six-pack for getting married. That never happened. And I want a six-pack for getting 40. Definitely not happened. So yeah, I'm not going to put a wish for getting a six-pack, but I think maybe I should at least try to regain some of my or be able to get in some of my clothes that fitted me a year ago. So yeah, so that's the challenge I set myself now. And the next few months is actually to start using the gym membership that I recently joined, and then and actually lose a bit of weight and just not think about getting older. Just be me and just make the most of things and just enjoy life. And I think everyone should be okay if we all did that and just chilled a bit. I think it'd be fine. So yeah, that's me turning 40 and some random other shit that I decided to talk about, which probably isn't relevant, but I can't even remember now. As soon as I say it, it drifts off out of my brain. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. If you're new to StephenSpeak, please go back and listen to some of the other episodes. I hope you enjoyed listening to this random little episode today. And if you would be so gracious, like and follow on social media at StephenSpeakPC. Go to have a look at my website, StephenSpeak.com. I really need to update it, so I apologise it's not been updated. I know I'm useless. And if you've got any ideas, feedback, etc., let me know. And if you think you're interested enough, even not interested enough, you can't really be less interested than me, hit me up and inquire about being a guest on the show. If you've got something to talk about or think other people would find interesting, let me know. Until then, I will speak to you all soon, and take care of your good selves. You've been listening to StephenSpeak the podcast. Thanks for listening to my unscripted prattle on everything and nothing. Visit StephenSpeak.com for updates, information, and my blog. You can follow more updates on social media at StephenSpeakPC. Thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon.